Ready there, Dream?
Okie dokie. Welcome to Shooting Game Weekly, number 94. Today we are going to be playing Touhou Youyoumu Perfect Cherry Blossom. It's a doujin game from 2003, made by Team Shanghai Alice, otherwise known as Zen. And we have some high-level scoring replays to look at today with our hosts, me, Aquas.
Yo, what's up, everyone?
Mino.
Hi.
And Sakurei.
I'm not actually a host, I'm just a guest commentator.
Well, I'm sorry, those last two are guests. I meant to say that. So why don't you start by just telling us, like, your experience with the game and how it works, basically, like what the flow of the game is.
Okay, I'll be starting, and the first thing to look at is how to get points. There's several ways in PCB to get points. The easiest one is get grace. You get a grace for a grace is when you get close to a bullet but don't actually hit it. There's actually a counter too in the game, and each bullet grace gives you 2,000 score. And the grace also gets calculated in the endgame bonus on, and it's actually very significant just from these points, because Lunatic scores grazes like 40,000 bullets, so that's a big thing. But where most of your points come from is from the items. There's four from the point items. These are the blue ones. There's overall 4 items in PCB. The blue point items, the red power items, which give you power. The pink cherry items, which I'll explain what they do in a bit, and then there's star items, which come from cancels and when you bomb.
Okay.
The next thing is spell bonuses. Spell bonuses in PCB are really important because they actually increase by grazing during the spell. So if there's a spell where you can graze a lot of bullets, the spell bonus goes up indefinitely. And in the main game, we're actually going to see some spells get over 100 million as far as graze is concerned. And the other thing that influences the spell bonus is Cherry, which Mino will explain after I'm done. I mentioned cancels with the star items. That's another thing that gives you a lot of score. Cancels are basically the things that happen when you bomb, and kind of bomb, and kind of is. Would you count it as a cancel, Minogama, if you bomb?
Yeah. There's like different rates with like star items, and we'll get to that later. But basically, cancels give you star items, and those are cancels.
Yeah, and when you finish a pattern, when you deplete the health bar, that's also when a cancel happens. These star items get sucked automatically into you, and they give you Cherry Plus, which I'll also explain in like 20 seconds, okay? Cancels actually increase in value the more grace you have, so that's why grace is also, again, why grace is so important. And the last thing that gives you a lot of points are the borders. Okay, borders are the first thing that is really PCB exclusive. You have a border when you're like flickering. When your character flickers, then you're in a border. A border is 11-second period where you're sort of invincible. You have like a shield sort of thing. And during these 11 seconds, you want to raise as much as you can, because that's what really gives the points. That's what raises your point item value, which Minogama will explain in a little bit in more detail. The way to get them is with Cherry Plus, which is what I explained. It's in the lower left corner when the game starts. You're going to see 3 numbers, and the Cherry Plus is the number on top of these. It goes from 0 to 50,000, and when you hit 50,000, you get the border, and you get this Cherry Plus through shooting enemies unfocused. Shooting bosses unfocused gives you more Cherry Plus than if you were too focused, and bombing cancels give Cherry Plus star items. Give Cherry Plus 100 each item, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually it from me, right? Now you take over.
All right, so I'm going to be explaining stuff about Cherry, Cherry Max, and I'm going to go back to Cherry Plus in a bit. So what is Cherry exactly? So Cherry is your point item value, and if you see, as Sakurei put it out in the bottom left, you can see the numbers for your Cherry. There's like a little slash and there's 2 numbers. The one on the left is your Cherry, the one on the right is your Cherry Max. I'll explain Cherry Max in a bit. So any point item you collect above the POC is going to be worth the value of your current Cherry. And how to raise your Cherry is it goes up when you shoot things, and that rate also depends on your character. And as Sakurei mentioned, your Cherry and your Cherry Plus will go higher if you're shooting unfocused than if you're shooting focused. There's a lot of weird things going on with the unfocused and focusing, which we'll talk about. And the Cherry items, the little pink items that you might have seen on the stage, that also raises your Cherry. And star items, like Sakurei mentioned, will increase your Cherry. And there's many ways that your Cherry will decrease. Basically, if you die, you'll get a penalty. If you bomb, you'll get a penalty. And if you time out an attack, which means let the timer fall without finishing the boss's HP bar, your Cherry will fall. And the penalty for dying and bombing is different between all the characters, and it's also different depending on the difficulty. So the higher your difficulty, the lower of the penalty that you actually have. So when your Cherry increases, it'll just keep increasing until it hits the maximum, which is the Cherry Max. And there are many ways to raise your Cherry Max. Well, actually, there's only one way, but basically, what you got to do is you got to graze during your borders. And you might have noticed that in this replay, whenever Yu-suke grazes during his borders, he's always unfocused. And that's because your Cherry Max gain is different depending on whether you're focused or unfocused. So if you're unfocused, you're getting more Cherry Max. And basically, I guess it's some sort of a risk-reward thing that Zune put in, which is kind of nice. So after you finish a border, you'll get 10,000 Cherry Max as bonus as well. But if you do get hit during the border, then all the bullets on the screen will just cancel into little Cherry items to fill up your Cherry Plus. So yeah, Sakurei already went a little bit into Cherry Plus earlier, but I guess I'll just kind of go over it again. So we mentioned borders earlier, and in order to get a border, you must obtain 50,000 Cherry Plus. And you get Cherry Plus in the same way as you get Cherry, shooting at enemies, collecting Cherry items, and collecting star items. It's also important to note that you focus shooting gets you Cherry Plus on bosses. Okay, so this is going to be weird. Remember how I said that unfocused and focused shooting gets you different amounts of Cherry Plus? It is kind of like that, except on stage enemies, if you shoot them focused, you won't get Cherry or Cherry Plus, but you will get Cherry Plus if you shoot stage enemies unfocused. But on bosses, you'll get Cherry Plus if you shoot them focused or unfocused. I hope I'm explaining that right. It's weird and confusing, but that's just how it is.
Well, what do you mean
yeah.
on stage?
So the fairies all over the all the stages. If you're shooting them unfocused, you'll get Cherry and Cherry Plus. But if you shoot them while you're focused, which is when you're holding Shift and your character's moving slower, then you're not going to get any Cherry or Cherry Plus. But on bosses, you'll still get Cherry and Cherry Plus if you're focused, but it's just at a really decreased rate.
I think it's 90% if you're.
It actually changes depending on the shot type. Cherry gain, the shooting is actually dependent on shot type. Each shot has a different Cherry gain. Marissa A, I believe, has the highest, and then comes to like ReimuB and like Sakurei is I think the lowest.
Okay, so far, you guys have said a lot of different terms and things like that. So throughout the episode, just try to reiterate some of these concepts over and over, so that it becomes something that makes a bit more sense. Because there's a lot of stuff there, a lot of things going on, and that's the challenge of a Touhou game and even a Touhou episode, explaining all this stuff. And these guys are gonna do their best to make it make sense, right?
Yeah, sorry, Perfect Cherry Blossom tends to be really complicated. So if there's anything you don't understand, feel free to just ask away and we'll definitely explain it. Like while we're still going on in this like little replay, is there anything you're confused about or anything you'd like to ask?
We'll have a lot of opportunities because we do have a number of replays here, but yeah, I would just emphasize, trying to, reiterate some of these concepts as we're going through the episode. That'd be great.
All right, that works.
From my own experience with the game, I would say that there's like kind of a basic concept of scoring, which is that you want to get that cherry plus up to get borders, then like use the borders to get more max cherry, and then build up your cherry within the max cherry.
Okay.
And that increases the value of the items and I think spells too, and so you just get a lot more points.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's kind of the gist of it. But as they've explained, it gets really complex, like in the midst of things.
Sure.
All right, so do you think we're ready to start on Yu-suke's Lunatic ReimuB?
Sure thing.
All right, I'll go ahead and get to the replay screen and just tell me when.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same. I'm already on it.
I'm ready.
Did you say a lunatic?
Yes.
It's the Lunatic ReimuB. It's the 3.64 billion run.
Okay. Yeah, we're all good. I'll give us a countdown and we'll hit enter to enter the replay.
Are we going on go or just on one?
3, 2, 1, go, and go. Yes.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go. Oh wait, I wasn't on the stage thing yet.
Oh, okay. Start over.
On the stage one part.
Give me a second. I have to go back now.
Yeah, I have to go back too.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I don't play a lot of Touhou, so I didn't know that.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, is everyone ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, start.
Okay.
Oh my god, there was another menu, but I think I got it.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I think I got it.
Yeah, let's just go on. Okay, so this is Yu-suke's current world record with ReimuB. And so in the little demo, we were showing Sakurei, who plays the game a lot differently than ReimuB. Like, one of the things you might have noticed is like how many like bombs Sakurei used. So ReimuB's not going to use as many bombs, and we'll explain kind of those differences later. You might also notice that he's not actually POCing, because in this game, like, the point of collect is basically once you go above a certain area in the screen, all the items will just gravitate towards your character. But you won't be able to do that until you get max power. So that's kind of why he used the bomb, as you saw a little bit earlier. He had to use that bomb to get those items because the POC wasn't activated yet. You can see right now he's doing like lots of little stray grazing everywhere, and that's because he wants to try to get as much graze bonus as he can, because after each stage you get all these different bonuses, and how much you graze will be taken into account on part of your bonus. So even though he's not getting any cherry max from that grazing, it will give him a little bit of score. He's just that hardcore. He'll do every single thing he can to get graze. So now that we've started this mid-boss spell, he's going to try to get his border. You can see he's getting 50,000 cherry plus, and now he has his boarding. He's just going around grazing like a madman, getting all that cherry max, get as much as he can before the border runs out.
I should also mention point of collection is very important, because the blue score items are worth more the higher you get them.
They'll decrease if you collect them below, and you can tell that they're not maxed because, like, if you notice when the character collects them, they like turn yellow if they're max value, and they're just gray if they're not max value. So that's how you can tell whether you're getting at max value. I guess I should also note that during a border, your character will just automatically collect all the items, and they'll all be worth max value. So you don't actually have to POC during a border. I thought I should clear that up. All right, so now we are starting on the Letty boss fight. What he's just trying to do is he's just trying to do some grazing, and you might notice he tries to shoot the boss while unfocused because, as I said before, shooting the boss unfocused gives you more cherry plus than if you were to shoot them focused. And he's going to try to time a cancel because he wants to get as many star items as he can because he wants to start this border on the first spell at the right time. So he's going to do a bit of a tricky thing here where he has to go into that corner and start grazing those light blue things. It's actually a lot harder than it looks, although it does look pretty hard. He's getting some cherry max there. And then he's just going to shoot unfocused for the rest of this spell just to get as much as he can. Cherry plus, I mean.
I should also clarify, this is not the overall record, but this is the record with this specific type.
Yeah. Like the overall record is with a different shot type, but this is ReimuB's overall record, I guess. All right, and then he's gonna go ahead and just shoot and graze those lasers, and then he's gonna bomb here. And the reason he does that is because those canceled bullets will give you star items, and it's kind of weird, but like with ReimuB, or I guess with a lot of the shots, like after the bomb ends, the star items will give you more cherry plus because basically what I'm trying to say is when you bomb, star items are worth less than if you had just canceled an attack normally. It's kind of like a penalty, I guess, but like the game will recognize the bomb being over before all the star items reach your character. So it's kind of like an oversight or a glitch that after the bomb has ended, like some of the last remaining star items you get will be worth more cherry plus. I hope I'm explaining.
Not how it works. The bomb, in ReimuB's particular case, the bomb is actually a lot longer lasting than it looks. So it actually still converts bullets into star items a good while after. This is something that you will see, especially at the start of the Phantasm stage, which we're going to see in like an hour. It's also worth noting that what Mino said, it starts at 10 when you bomb, and it goes up to 100 for full cancel value.
Okay, well, sorry, I guess I was a little wrong there. But anyway, moving on to stage 2. So you might notice he has about 27,000 cherry plus, and that's about what you'd want. He's just going to go ahead and try to kill these enemies in POC. And then after he does this POC right here, he's going to stop shooting because he wants these enemies, like you could kill these enemies, but he wants to leave them alive because they will shoot tons of bullets. And if he just leaves them alive, then he'll get all these green bullets that he can just stream and graze. And then right here, you might notice he just skipped through bullets and didn't die. That is a very weird thing with PCB, as when you're done with a border, your character will get like very, very tiny frames of invincibility. I don't know the exact number, but essentially you can use that to like pass through bullets, and he used it there so that he could escape that wall and get to freedom. All right, and this spell is a little weird because like this boss will like fire these like bullets from these like weird bubble things that she has, and it's very weird because they spawn at different positions, so it's not like you can memorize this, so it's kind of a risky thing to do, but I think it's really cool that Yu-suke is not afraid of that, and he just goes YOLO all the way, all the time. All right,
That's
and
some serious swag.
Yeah, this Yu-suke is amazing. He completely like redid PCB roots like from Lunatic and basically expanded on what HS already did. He just like he's amazing, and I could sit here all day and just praise him, but of course we gotta talk about the game itself. So about right here, he's going to plant a border, because in this section right here, these blue bullets are aimed around you. So if he just sits still, he'll graze all of them and get cherry max. And then these are aimed at you, so he can just sidestep and graze them for cherry max.
The post-border invincibility is 20 frames.
Oh, all right. Yeah, it's 20 frames. Thanks, Sakurei. I really didn't know that number off the top of my head. All right, so now we are starting our stage 2 boss, Chen. And he's going to bomb in this corner because he wants to get some star items for Cherry Plus. Usually when he bombs on bosses, it's because he wants Cherry Plus, so just for future reference. But if it's not the case, I'll clarify. All right, and then he's going to make sure to time his cancel when most bullets are on screen so he can get some star items. And he's going to want to have a border on this spell. And this spell in particular is actually pretty annoying to have a border on because, as you would imagine, he wants to graze these while unfocused. But the problem with that is that there's like so many bullets coming at weird angles, so it's really difficult to dodge. So you need to have a lot of skill. You might notice he does focus sometimes, but for the majority, he's trying to unfocus. And he's going to wait before the border ends, before he finishes attack off. Obviously, because if one, I think he's trying to get more spell bonus, and two, if you like cancel a boss attack while inside of a border, you're not really going to get any cherry plus since you're already in a border. And he suicided there. So basically, he did that because I'll explain why a little bit later, but essentially he wanted to get more bombs, and he's also going to make use of full power clears for cherry plus. Remember when I said that star items give you cherry plus? Well, there's another way to get star items. When your character hits max power, all the bullets on the screen will just turn into star items. So that's another strategic way to get cherry plus for borders. So we'll be seeing that after this spell card. This spell card is a milk spell. Essentially what he's going to do is he's just going to time it down as much as he can and get as much spell bonus. Sakurei mentioned earlier, but cherry is what determines your it's what determines the rate at which your spell card bonus will raise. And basically the spell bonuses in this game, they start off really low, but they will increase depending on your grazing. So if you just keep grazing during an attack and milk it to death, you actually get more spell bonus. And there's some really cool milks in this game, especially on the final boss. So yeah,
actually, if you die, you don't get any spell bonus. So
I guess I should. So yeah, you got to be careful because if you're trying to milk a spell for graze and you get a lot of spell bonus, if you die, you basically just wasted all of that because your spell bonus goes down the drain. So yeah. So now he's going to get that full power clear, and he's going to get some cherry plus for that. And I guess I should also mention that any power items on the screen, if you get a full power clear and there's other power items on screen, those power items turn into cherry items. So yeah, I hope I'm doing a good job of explaining all these things. It's a really complex game. But yeah, that's about all for stage 2, really.
Yeah, no wonder it got so rerouted.
I'd say you're
It's
doing
like
a pretty
so
good
much
job.
shit going on.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Cream. And what was that, Aqua? Sorry.
Yeah, it's like no wonder it got rerouted when there's like so much shit going on. You can be like creative, right, with the route essentially, right?
Yeah, this game has so much potential. Like, it's just insane how like a few years ago, like 3 bill was just like the thing. Like HS's world records were the best. And it's like no one could have ever imagined that it would be pushed all the way to 3.6. And like the Sakuya B record is going like to 3.8, and apparently 4 billion is possible. So this game is just still, even though it came out in 2003, it is still getting awesome improvements overall because it's just a great game and it's my favorite game. So let's start talking about stage 3. So right now he's gonna do some cool like little spiral grazes, taking advantage of like the pattern itself to kind of spin around Alice, who's the boss, and get some cherry max. This stage in particular is probably my favorite stage in the entire game because it's just got so many cool tricks and nuances and such. And Alice herself is a really fun boss, especially for scoring. So now he's just gonna do some like streaming over here, just getting some items and making quick work of all these enemies. All right, and he's gonna time it so that he almost gets a border, but not exactly, because he wants to get the border at a certain point on this non-spell so he can start grazing as many bullets as he can. He's making use of some safe spots and stuff because this non-spell is actually static, so he's basically memorized how to graze this unfocused without fail. Yeah, he's doing some really crazy things here. This is a really top-notch player.
It's worth noting that the reason he delays this is because the pattern gets denser.
So much slack.
So he gets
it's just unbelievable.
So he gets more bullets while he during the border.
Yeah, and usually like I usually just try to get the border earlier because I'm not Yu-suke, but yeah, he waits a bit. All right, and this spell is kind of annoying. Oh, sorry, go on. What were you gonna say?
I just said, damn.
Oh. All right, so you might notice that. Okay, so this boss has a gimmick where she's like a puppeteer, so she has like dolls, and the dolls themselves will like give you items if you kill them. Sorry, I think I cut out him.
No, you didn't. No, it wasn't you.
Okay, anyway, so basically she has dolls and they will fire bullets, and when you kill them you can get like cherry items and point items. So what he's doing is he's not trying to kill Alice fast, instead he's trying to milk her dolls for items. And he wants to get like extra borders. Like that is the common theme in the Alice fight, is that you want to kill her dolls and get cherry items and try to get as many borders as possible because you want that cherry max. And not only that, after you finish a border, like you'll get a score bonus as well for timing out a border without getting hit. So yeah, it's very important to get borders. I can't emphasize this enough. And this game in particular is extremely cumulative. So the more cherry max you get in the early game, the more your score will go. It's kind of crazy how that works. All right, now we're going to go ahead and start the Alice boss fight, and for some reason, he doesn't skip through the dialogue. He just kind of waits it out. I never understood why he did that. I like to think of it as some kind of good luck ritual, but maybe there's some explanation.
He's doing like a rain dance right there.
If you pay attention, you will notice he's actually going through the motions of the stage 4 opening with ReimuB while doing the dialogue. So I assume it's some sort of pseudo practice.
Huh, interesting. All right, so he's gonna bomb right here because he wants to get cherry plus from that little wave right there. And then this is one of my favorite tricks. So he's going to bomb and go into a safe spot to graze the ring. It's just so fun to do, and it looks so cool, and it's just, yeah, I don't know what else to say.
God bless the ring, guys.
It's a cool trick. It's one of the reasons why I like Alice's fight so much too. So yeah, not much else to say right now. He's just doing the usual. He's gonna cancel right here, and for some reason when Alice dies, like the dolls on screen will like turn into cherry items on that non. So like if you time it right, you can get a lot of bullets and all the dolls killed. Alright, so he's unfocusing on this spell because he wants to get a border. That's what a lot of this game is just a lot of the times you shoot at bosses in this game, you're just going to be shooting them unfocused, and then you're going to stop shooting while inside of the border because, as you would imagine, you want to get as many borders as possible, as I keep saying 5 million times. So yeah, he's just swagging it. And that's one of the fun things about this game too, is how much like crazy unfocused dodging you've got to do all the time. It's like, it's really active and it keeps your adrenaline going. And you just know that if you pop that border, you're losing out on cherry max and score bonus and all that. And this non-spell is weird. It just like dies in 2 seconds for no reason. I don't know why.
Probably a mistake in programming.
Yeah, I would imagine so. All right, so
I think Sin just like programs everything while he's drunk, shamelessly.
I mean, that's why the games are good, right?
Probably.
All right, so this spell, he's just POCing. He's killing the dolls and not killing Alice, but just getting as many cherry items as possible. It's actually really fun because you gotta like switch sides in POC and you gotta go through like little bullet fields. It's really tense, but really fun. And He's just gonna POC as much as he can and kill Alice as late as possible. Because he's gonna do some really cool shenanigans on this third non. Alright, so now he's gonna do kind of what he did on the first non, except this time instead of using a bomb to get into the safe spot, he's gonna suicide. Yeah, and so he'll suicide just at the right time so he can get into that safe spot and graze that ring again, and then he'll graze the outside of the ring and retreat down to the bottom. And then he'll go hardcore and start going up and around this area. He's just, I don't even know, all these tricks.
Is there some type of like well, there's like stage select in the Touhou games, right? But has there ever been like a specific like practice, like a save state tool or something like that for a Touhou game, like to practice some of the like crazy maneuvers that ends up being done?
Some of the game. Oh, sorry. Go on, Creed.
There are actually a lot of unofficial fan-made tools that people use to learn like the really, really in-depth strategies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it seems like, yeah, if you'd be going through this whole stage, like just to try something like so crazy like that, it'd be kind of like annoying.
Yeah, there's this tool called Spoiler Owl that lets you set the amount of Cherry Plus and Cherry Max and all that at the beginning of the stage. You can also like use some tools to like get you to a specific attack as well. So yeah. Alright, and yeah, there's not much else to say about this Alice fight really. He's just doing, I'm gonna say doing the usual, which is just shooting unfocused, getting grazed during borders, timing cancels, etc. And I guess now that we're on Alice, I might as well mention that the reason why Sakurei gets so much score is because she can get a lot of Cherry Max on this fight because she can just spam her bombs to get lots of borders. And we saw that in the demo. Alright, so now we're going to one of the coolest parts of PCB, which is stage 4. You might notice he's almost at a border, but not exactly at a border starting the stage, and that is because he's going to use his bomb to get him a border. If the stage will start? I guess he was just waiting a long time on that clear screen. Alright, so he's going to bomb here and use those star items to activate a border, and he's just going to do this thing called border chaining. So, I said before that when you pop a border and don't time it out, all the bullets will turn into like little cherry items. And if there's tons of bullets on screen, you can keep getting borders even after popping them, and you can just keep doing that over and over again to chain borders and get lots of cherry max.
That's cool.
And that right there is an example of that trick. So he basically timed it specifically so that he would get this border right here and do some grazing here.
To delay the border.
Yeah, he used the bomb at the end to delay the border or something like that. Alright, and then he's just going to kill enemies and get items, and as you would imagine, because he's been raising his Cherry Max like crazy, all these items are going to be worth tons of points. And so yeah, it's very important to make sure that you're getting all these items at max value, which means you got to do some pretty risky things like he's doing right here, because he could just POC or miss items, but you know, this is scoring. You got to get all these items. You got to get them at max value.
Mino, why didn't you mention that the bomb, the second bomb in stage 4 was used for literally nothing but delaying the border? That's like one of the coolest uses of a bomb I've ever seen. Like you don't get anything except delayed border. That's like so cool.
Damn.
But it's all worth it at the end for the Cherry Max. Because, yeah. Alright, so he's just gonna do some manipulation here by killing... Because these fairies will shoot once you kill them. So he's just kind of misdirecting them and making himself a gap so he can like go through the little maze of bullets and POC. And he wants about 48,000 Cherry Plus to start this mid-boss. Because he wants to get a border. And as you noticed, her attacks are like static and streaming. So he's just memorizing a height on the screen that he can stay on so that he can just tap a little bit to get as much graze as he can. Then he's going to finish Lily off. He's going to bomb in the corner of the screen and then get a border. And remember border chaining? He's going to do that here too, because there's a lot of bullets here, and these fairies won't stop shooting until you kill them. So he's actually going to stop shooting during a border at some points to make these fairies fire a lot, so they can just fire bullets and enough bullets for him to get more borders. And he's... Oh, sorry, go on, Sakurei. What were you going to say?
I have a question in regards to the lily kill. Wasn't it late? I always thought you were supposed to get the border from the lily cancel. Or is that different with Yu-suke's rad?
I think he might have either he failed to pop the border on Lily, or I think he actually intends to keep the border so he can get the cherry max and the score bonus. I think he intends to finish Lily off, but I'm not entirely sure. Sorry. Anyway, this section is worth talking about because he's doing this really cool trick where this is like a really hard section to POC at, especially with ReimuB, because obviously ReimuB only shoots in front of her, so you've got to do some really weird maneuvers to make sure that you can kill these enemies properly and avoid their bullets. He's gonna bomb right here so he can kill these enemies and get himself a border and get items and such, and then he's gonna just stop shooting right here until the fairy has finished firing, because he wants that fairy to fire as many bullets as he can to get as much graze as he can. And he's going to use border invincibility there and then suicide. So yeah, as you can see, he has like over like 1 million cherry max because he's just God. All right, now for our stage 4 boss. So the stage 4 boss is a little weird because it's like 3 different characters as your boss. And the character you fight depends on your shot type. This is Lunasa, and since he's playing as Reimu, he's going to start off fighting her. If he was playing Sakuya-B, he would be fighting Merlin. I guess I should clarify which one is which. The black suited one is Lunasa, the white suit is Merlin, and the red is Lyrica. And he's just kind of waiting their dialogue out, I guess, doing his pseudo practicing.
You got 1 billion points right now. $1 billion.
And it's just gonna get even more.
It's worth noting that the cherry actually breaks, like the cherry display actually breaks in the main game, but not in Phantasm or the extra. It doesn't do it there, which is really strange, because in the main game it starts breaking at 1 million, but you reach these numbers in Phantasm at least as well, but it doesn't do anything there. It's really weird. Like he intended it for it to be reached in Phantasm, but not in the main game, which makes no sense.
Okay, so he's gonna kind of delay the killing of Lunasa, because as you can see, he's trying to make sure she's spawning a lot of bullets. He's gonna kill it as late as possible, get all that cherry plus from the start items.
It's not as late as possible, it's to get as many bullets on the screen as possible.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
For some paladins, really like last second kind of deal, but on this boss in particular, like the non-spells all seem kind of cycle based. They kind of rotate as far as the pattern is concerned. So usually you won't cancel at 0-0, but at like 8 or 9, depending on which time is the last time you see the part with the best cancel.
Alright, so for this first spell, all 3 of the sisters are gonna like combine and start like working together. He's grazing those notes because, I guess, is it the case that those notes, like, you see that the notes spawn the arrows, right? Is it that each note contains all of those bullets inside of them, so grazing one of those notes is effective to grazing all the bullets they spawn or something? Do you know,
No,
Sakurei, for sure?
it just works like a laser. You just graze like 10 lasers at the same time, so you can get like 10 lasers worth of graze. It just works like that, because the rate at which you gain graze from the nose isn't different on easy mode compared to here.
Alright, that makes sense. So yeah, thanks for clarifying, Sakurei. I actually didn't fully know that. I knew he grazed the notes because the notes give you lots of cherry max, but I always thought it was just because it was the bullets, but it's the notes are lasers. That's weird and interesting. You learn new things. All right.
Yeah, you can raise them repeatedly like a laser too. So if they work like one bullet, like if the node were to actually work for like the 3 bullet it contains, then it would actually stop after 3 bullets. You know, after 3 rays for the node, and it doesn't. So it's just a laser.
All right, so you might notice he's high on the screen here. That's because if you're higher on the screen, you can get more grays, and then he's like grazing the outer edges of that like thing before it starts spawning. It's really cool and fun to do.
That's pretty impressive, looking anyway.
Yeah, they have like a weird aiming mechanic. I don't know how to explain it, but basically, like, I guess do they like aim 2 different times, or is their aim like delayed?
Yes.
Something like that.
They aim like when they start fanning out, they aim once in your direction, and then when they actually start moving into it again, they go into your direction. So they aim twice.
Someone asked if there's any differences between normal bombs and death bombs.
No. Aside from the sound they make, there isn't.
All right. So on this, oh, sorry. Go on.
Is there a difference in the cherry that you lose? Because I know that bombing makes you lose cherry, and I know that...
No.
Okay.
There would be a difference between bombs and death bombs, so no, it doesn't actually change that either. There is a difference between focused and unfocused bombs, though.
Yeah, and I know that you lose a lot of cherry when you lose a life.
100,000, yes. If you don't have 100,000, it's like a third of your cherry, that kind of deal. It works something like that.
Real quick, I just want to point out that what he's doing right now is he's timing out this spell to get spell bonus. As you can see, the spell bonus has got all the way to 30 million. Because he has so much cherry, he's able to milk a lot of these spells for lots of numbers. So, yeah. From this point onward, really, he's going to be timing out a lot of the attacks for spell bonus, even the ones that don't give you as much score, because Yu-suke just is YOLO.
Oh, I should clarify, there is a difference between a focus bomb and a non-focus bomb.
That's what I just said, wasn't it? I did mention that the
I'm sorry,
cherry loss is different.
Yeah. Like, I think you lose cherry when you're focused, but it's a stronger attack. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
you lose more when you're focused and less when you're unfocused. But ReimuB's focus bomb is so powerful that you will very rarely use the unfocused one.
All right. My game just kind of like froze a bit, so just let me know when you start on stage 5. That way I can catch up. Sorry.
I guess I can go. Well, it's not like anything particular is happening. The 2 last patterns on the spells are just like kind of dodging.
Yeah,
and,
just more milking.
Yeah, and the reason Yu-suke actually gains a little bit of spell bonus, like not much but a little bit, is because his cherry is high enough that it actually still gives him more than he loses.
Did stage 5 start?
No, not for me.
Just tell me the exact moment it starts. Sorry. It happens.
We're almost there.
All right.
Things left.
Right, in the chat was asked, how does cherry influence spell bonus? What spell bonus you get per bullet grazed. Although I don't know the exact math behind it.
Okay, ready.
But if you have, I'm in stage 5.
Oh, okay, yeah. Mine is a little bit slow. So I'm actually fast forwarding with V-Patch.
Actually, wow, he waits a long time on that. I'm now in stage 5 perfectly.
But yeah.
I thought he was just going to go through the stage thing.
Did we start?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Awesome. I'm all caught up. All right. So he is going to plan a weird suicide method on this beginning stage, which is not something I see anyone else do, but yeah, it's one of the weird route changes that Yu-suke made. And he'll get like a border right at this section from that because of the full power clear and the cherry items and all that. And he's just gonna like graze these little lanes right here that these fairies spawn. It's really cool. And he's gonna bomb right here and get these items. and get some Cherry Plus. And then right here, he's going to have to POC as quickly as he can because those items are falling fast. He's got to make sure he gets them before they fall. So, yeah. This stage itself is more quiet than the other stages. But I mean, there are still like noteworthy things. Yu-suke actually made this stage a lot more crazy than the old routes did. Well, I guess you could say that about the whole game, really. Oh no, am I behind? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the chat is saying you're behind. They don't know if I am because I don't talk about this.
For me, Yomu has just appeared.
Yeah, same.
The mid-boss Yomu just appeared?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, well that's what happened to me too. Maybe Aqua's is ahead? It's okay. We'll roll with this.
He must be, right? If we're all at the same time, then he's just ahead.
Suggested that we use video instead.
Well, the thing
okay,
is
well-
like I have to keep the window focused, obviously, because if I go unfocused, you guys will go ahead
I
of me.
have an idea. Okay, so is she
your
on her
idea is
spell
what?
card or is she still on the non?
She's still
Did you
she's
talk
still
about
doing her like
Aqua's? Oh, sorry.
Resurrected in Aquas, probably.
Let's see here. I'm looking at like a purple ring or blue streak of
That's
blue.
the spell. That's the spell.
What does the second counter say right now?
Oh yeah, 36 in the top right?
All right, pause, and then I'll tell you when I get to 36.
You want me to pause?
Yeah, just
Yeah, well, now it's not straight at 36 anymore, now is it?
I'm at 20. I'm at 25.
I'm confused.
whatever. We'll just go with it.
All right.
It's not going to make that much of a difference because every attack from now on is just going to be constant milking, so it'll be fine. Anyway, I would imagine that he's probably ending this spell card off. He is timing it down. This is a really dangerous spell to time out all the way, but Yu-suke is Yu-suke, and he'll do whatever he can for the spell bonus. Even, you might notice that, those spells don't even have as much graze as a lot of the other ones do, but he's still doing it anyway because he just wants as much graze as possible.
I'd actually say that the mid-boss spell is totally worth it, even if you don't have this kind of cherry. If you're talking like Hell's God Sword, okay, but the mid-boss spell is totally worth it.
One thing that's interesting to note is that once you get to 800 items, you get an extend for every 200. So you actually get it extends faster than at the beginning.
Oh yeah, I guess we never mentioned how you got lives. You just get them
that's
from
right.
collecting 1 items.
It was my fault, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Your graze is on your right, your lives are the player, your bombs are the bomb, your score is on the right. All these little things.
And where it says point, that's like your progress to your next extend, I think.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
that's how many point items you collected.
Good to know.
And at the bottom, that left gauge, you see the little thing, the little purple number. There's 3 numbers. There's one on top of 2 others. The one on the top with
We
the
already
plus-
mentioned it at the very beginning, didn't we?
Yeah, but I didn't say exactly what was Cherry Plus, although it was supposed to be obvious.
I
So
did. I said it was
Oh,
the top
you did?
number.
Okay,
Just
good.
say it again. Just say it again, please.
Okay, so the top number with the plus is your Cherry Plus. The bottom number on the left is your Cherry. The bottom number on the right is your Cherry Max. Bam. All right, this
Right.
spell is crazy because it is extremely random, and this boss has a gimmick where she slows down time. It's not like Sakuya's who stops time, but she slows down time, and it basically, because of that, Zune decided to give her spam, lots of craziness on this spell. So Yu-suke wants to get as much spell bonus as he can, which basically means he has to time this really insane spell card out for a full minute, or maybe a little more than a minute, and it's just really crazy that he would do that, but he's so good that he does it anyway.
Yeah, that looked like a fun pattern.
And I'm assuming he's starting the non-spell. If so, he's probably doing some misdirection with that like misdirecting the aimed bullets a little bit to get himself in a good position so that he can graze.
Don't your extends turn into bombs when you're at like 9 lives?
Oh yeah, they will. So like, I guess in a score run, if you're not doing a lot of suicides, then you're basically wasting more bombs because like you're losing out on potential bombs that you would gain from dying. Oh, and someone asked if he made any major mistakes. On the stage 4 at the very beginning of the stage 4 borders, I believe he got hit accidentally or timed one of his border breaks wrong, so he actually lost. Yeah, he got hit and lost some cherry max. All right, and really, there's not. I mean, I know we're all desynced and all, but I guess there isn't really anything more significant to say on Yomu that I could imagine. I mean,
mostly dodging balls.
Yeah, he's just dodging, milking, and getting borders. So, I hope that in the duration of our explanations, I was able to kind of clarify like Cherry Plus, and Cherry Max effectively because. How do you think we did, Aquas?
I'm feeling good about it. I think I got a grasp here.
All right, that relieves me.
How does the Cherry Max raise again exactly?
Grazing during your borders.
It's just the grazing. Okay.
80 per bullet on focus and 30 when you focus. So you never want to focus. You always want to go on focus during borders.
If you finish a border without getting hit, the game will reward you with Cherry Max, 10,000 exactly. But if you get hit and then you don't get that bonus essentially.
You also get the bonus.
You also get your Cherry Max multiplied by 10 as silent score edit. So in his case, he has like 1.5 million, so he will get 15 million added to his score directly after a border, which is also not a game if you break the border. So unless you can like chain the borders, you don't usually want to break them.
Hey, I have an idea, by the way. How about after Yomu, we just all start this replay on stage 6 to try to sync up again? Like when you're done with Yomu, you can, like Aquas, you can go back to the title, and then we're done with Yomu, we can go back or something.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, no, we don't even have to wait. We can just, as soon as you're done with Yomu, let's just all go back to the title and start on stage 6. That way we can talk about Yuyuko while synced.
Sure.
Okay.
Stuff this replay is going to be mostly cashing in on all that cherry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the rest of the milking is not as important.
Basically, since he's built up so much cherry, a lot of the spell bonuses he gets from now on are going to be worth a lot, especially on the final boss. So basically he's going to, as you said, he's going to kind of cash in.
Okay, it ended. All right.
Yeah, because I know that like on the last stage, you got some really big cash-ins.
All right. So I guess we're done with stage 5. Are we back at the menu or whatever?
I'm already ready for go.
All right,
ready for go.
I'm ready.
Ready.
All right, just do the countdown. I'm ready too.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right, stage 6, the epic finale. Hey, I'm just glad that the desync happened on stage 5 and not like on stage 3 or something. All right, so this part right here is like really insane. It's probably the hardest dodging pattern that PCB has to offer on Lunatic mode. He's gonna do a suicide here because he wants to get a full power clear to get himself a border. And then he's going to just pop that border and because there's so many bullets on screen, and then almost get a border for this mid-boss. Like, he doesn't want to get 50,000, but he wants to get as close to it as possible. So it requires lots of strategic timing and carefulness. All right, so Yomu appears again. She's a mid-boss. So he's just going to wait for his border to start when she starts firing those aim things. And he's going to move a little higher on the screen so he can graze a little more bullets. And yeah, just grazing. Fun.
Yo, that bass drum in this tune going in, yo.
This tune, this game in particular, like this song always like gives me the shivers whenever I hear it, because like just
that,
getting
like,
to stage 6 in a run, a scoring or whatever run, and just hearing this song just gets you nervous. You just know it's the end.
It's like do 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 do.
Sometimes I would play this like on my MP3 player when I was walking to school for like a test or an exam. It's just such an epic song.
Dodging the cars in the highway or something like that.
Yeah.
Please don't actually dodge cars on the highway. By the way, this spell he's on right now is static, so he's positioning himself so that he doesn't get hit. It's not actually random. He doesn't actually kind of read that. He knows where things are going to go.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so now this is like, I don't know how to explain it. This is like the epitome of the beauty of this game, this boss. Her fight is elegant, it's beautiful, and it's milk-worthy. So yeah, he's just timing out the dialogue as usual. I'm probably like really nervous because this is like his big run. He actually did this run on a live stream, so me and Sakurei actually watched this live, which was really epic. Like the chat like exploded with like hype whenever he won. Pretty cool. All right, so it looks like he's starting. So he starts off shooting her unfocused to get some cherry plus, and then I think about he's going to stop shooting and start bombing, right? So he can get some borders. Right. Okay, so he's actually not going to bomb because he's Yu-suke and he's really resourceful, I guess. Okay. So,
Character.
yeah, sorry. Some of the routes they like bomb on this non-spell at the beginning to get cherry plus, and I thought Yu-suke did that too. I think he does it after the borders. What?
Sakurei, you bombed like 3 times on this.
I'm talking. This is ReimuB.
Yeah, but you said some shots, so some shots at the beginning and.
Oh, did I meant to say some people, some runs.
Oh, so some players. Okay, yeah.
My bad.
Players with inferior routes.
Okay, so he's gonna use border invincibility to skip through there.
Damn.
That's pretty cool. And he's just gonna graze milk. Every spell card in this fight will be grazed, for the exception of one, I think. The penultimate.
Well, you can kind of count it. I mean, the main reason is, but he still gets spell bonus from it. Like, significant. He goes over 10 million.
Yeah, so basically for this spell, what he's trying to do is he's going to cut through that lane and then start grazing the outer lane of the other wave. So it requires, like, you have to, like, be really good at just finding the gaps, because he's got to get through there really quickly so that he can make it in time for the grazing. And it's a trick that I never wanted to learn because it's so hard to do, but I don't know, maybe if you practice it, you get better at it. That kind of ordeal. Alright, and on this non, you might notice that this boss is taking damage even though he's not under her. You see that giant fan behind her? That is a hitbox for her too. When you shoot that fan, she does take damage, but not as much as if you were shooting under her normally. But what this means is that you can still get like cherry plus and such if you're not under her. And it's really, I'm glad that that fan exists, because this non would be such a pain if you had to stream under her a whole bunch. Alright, so this spell is kind of cool. He's going to do some kind of spiraling. He's going to just spin around and get lots of sprays for his spell bonus. And then he's going to manipulate it to create a restream. It's actually a completely static spell. The only variance is the bubbles, which are aimed at you. So he's manipulating and misdirecting the bubbles to give himself, basically allowing himself to start restreaming again. So yeah.
Yo, damn!
kind of epic, even though it's static. The spell bonus, the spell bonus is gonna increase a lot because you got lots of cherry, and the timers for the spell cards are really long. So this boss fight is like the longest thing in the game, I think, like the longest boss in the game, obviously, and she's just got a lot of milking. So we're gonna be sitting here quite a while. So just enjoy.
I think a full mode stage 6 is like 10 minutes long.
Someone said it was a half hour earlier.
Well, the whole run is like an hour long, and then this stage alone is like 10 to 15 minutes, because it's a final boss, so the timers are longer than in like stage 2 or 3. And since you look at everything, it's kind of long, just really, really long.
Oh yeah, someone in this chat mentioned something about upper limit. Yeah, so as Chum said, there is no limit to how high a spell bonus can go. So basically, if you have a lot of cherry, you can basically push a spell as high as the timer will allow you to. So there are some really, really big spell bonuses in this game. This boss in particular.
The first massive one actually comes up right up after this next spell.
The next spell coming right now is one of the big spell bonuses. So yeah, these lasers, the thing about these lasers is lasers can be grazed continually. Like normal bullets can only be grazed like once and then that's it. But lasers can be grazed continually as long as you're near the laser hitbox. So he's just going to keep grazing these, and these lasers aim at you. So he's just gonna kind of like sidestep and go a little bit to the right of the lasers and just graze them as they like kind of go into him.
That's so weird looking.
Yeah, it's kind of a scary spell because if you get hit, you're gonna lose well, it depends on how much cherry you have, but for Yu-suke, I think he gets like 80 or 90 million on this, roughly. So yeah, as you can expect, you can't die during Yuyuko if you care about your score, because it's just a penalty. Like, this is the boss. This is.
You can die if you're grazing the shit. It doesn't matter, man.
Oh yeah, but if it's a good run and you want it to be a good run, you've got to be careful. But
well, if you want it to be a good run, then you're probably not gonna die to like the prison rivers either. Like, come on. If you die to any of the big bosses, then it's like dying to Youyoumu is okay because she doesn't give any score, but dying to like the prison rivers or Alice can actually be fatal already. Like, imagine dying to Alice and then the cherry class is fucked up for the start of stage 4. Like, what are you gonna do then? So because not the only don't die on the boss.
Well, yeah. Well, what I was trying to emphasize is that basically, if you die on those spells, you're losing like 90 to 100 million, so it's kind of costly.
It's more than that.
So like the cherry plus carries from stage to stage. So you're saying like there's a route that they're following, like to have always get the supernatural borders at the correct times.
Yes, the cherry plus carries over.
Damn, yo.
Stage.
Yeah, that's how he was able to do that stage 4 trick, is like at the end of Alice, he timed that last spell so that he would have about 48,000 cherry plus starting stage 4. So like everything is cumulative in this game. Like everything.
So sometimes it's like you can be like, oh, I'm gonna get this. I'm short this amount of grays. I'm only gonna do this much grays, and then fix that and this, like some stuff like that, huh? Like you improvise as you go. You can improvise as you go along to keep on the route.
Yeah, like in this game, like you really have to learn how to improvise, because sometimes if you just like mess up badly, if you don't know how to, well, I mean, most of the time you would just restart, but like there are some situations where you just gotta know how to recover your run if you mess up badly.
Right, okay.
Like popping a border unintentionally, or just getting a bad cancel or something, or dying, like, Anyway, this is the biggest spell bonus in the game, 102 million. That is just epic, and it just makes me feel like seeing that just
112, not 102.
I said 100. Oh, whatever. Above.
I heard 102. I heard 102. I'm sorry.
Oh well. Anyway, yeah, that spell bonus is epic.
We're
I-
getting near the end.
Yeah, on this, he's going to, okay, so this spell has so much HP, and so much, in fact, that if you're going to start it with a border because of the cancel. I should have mentioned this earlier. Every attack that, like, Yuko doesn't give you star items when you cancel her attack. She just gives you cherry items themselves. So you get lots of borders on this fight. So he's going to unfocus here to try to get another border, because this spell has enough HP that you can go from 0 to 50,000 cherry plus if you're just unfocused shooting the entire time. So yeah, and you want, and border bonuses are dependent on how much cherry you have. So like the borders are going to be worth more timing them out the later you are in the game. All right, now for the epic final spell. So this is like one of the hardest scoring tricks you could ever do in Touhou, and this Yu-suke, he is like the only person who does it. So this spell is a timeout. So spell bonus does not decrease, it only goes up. So you would ideally want to make use of that. So he's going to graze like an absolute madman and just get as much graze as possible, which means he's just gonna like look what he's doing. Like he's just like cruising through these bullets and just grazing those lasers, grazing around these rings, and then he's gonna like use his border invincibility to like get back in there and start grazing again. Like this is just beauty. Like I don't really have anything else to say.
It's worth noting that with non-range shots, the approach is slightly different because the hitbox is larger on them. So the way he does it here is actually ReimuB exclusive, I believe, because she has a smaller hitbox. But like for Sakurei, I believe it looks similar, but there are some slight differences in terms of where he squeezes and all. And that's stupid now.
So I take it the hitboxes on those bowls is the white center?
Yes.
The white chocolate center?
The hitboxes themselves are square in this game, but yeah,
You're right,
generally
right.
around the middle of the sprite. So yeah, he got that crazy spell bonus, and he's got, all the bonuses from the clear, and 3.6.
Yeah, that was pretty damn awesome at the end there.
Yeah, it looks pretty easy to pull off. That was joking, by the way.
The hitboxes are actually very small.
It's like, dang, having that like full confidence at the very end for that shit, like, ugh.
Yeah, like, oh god, I don't even know.
Like, cause that's like, I mean, it's the time to choke, right? But you can't, cause you gotta do it.
Yeah, he's courageous. He's not afraid of anything.
On that spell, you actually get 90 items. So anti-POCs them all, so he gets them all at maximum value, and he had like almost 2 million. So 90 items multiplied by 2 million. That's a significant amount of score already. And then the 88 million from the spell bonus.
And
then he gets like 6 or 7 borders during the spell, which was again each about 2 million. So overall, this spell is worth more than any other spell in the game.
It's like 400 million or something like that, or like, I don't know, or 300, 400 million just for that entire spell, right?
Right, 300 rather, something like that, yeah.
Like that.
And if you die to it, you lose the spell bonus, and you lose items, some of the items, and you lose like at least one border. So dying actually kills it. It's like if like third or half of the total score from the thing gone, which is absolutely nasty.
Are we anything to say before we get into Phantasm? Like any questions, any comments, or
what is Phantasm? I mean, it's like it's a higher difficulty, or
it's the second extra stage.
Oh,
it's basically an extra stage, but it's the second extra stage of this game. Like the game has 2, and Phantasm is the one that unlocks after you clear.
That's right, and the extra
one.
stages don't have the selectable difficulty.
Right.
Yeah, PCB's just weird, and it has like 2 extra stages, I guess. I don't know.
Overall, they look very similar, although in score play, I guess they're different. But since Phantasm scores higher, we're going to do that. Also, I don't know for extras as well as Phantasm.
Yeah, Sakurai's been scoring lots of Phantasms, so he's actually going to be the dominant commentator during this. I mean, I might say some things here and there, but yeah, he's the one that's going to be explaining most of this. Because, yeah.
Okay. Are we ready then to start it off then?
Yeah. I'm ready.
Cool. All right.
I'm ready.
Fiend?
I'm ready.
I got a question though. Like after you, when you're finally about to start the replay, there's the 3 options, like the blue, green, and red. What are those options?
The first one is let the replay normally. The second one is that it slows down when there's a lot of bullets, and the third one is go quickly through the stage and then play normally on the.
Oh, that's
bosses.
interesting.
So we only want the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you.
Huh. Man, that's interesting. Okay. Cool, let's get into it then. Yu-suke with the Phantasm, extra stage number 2. ReimuB. Alright, cool. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, the very first thing we're going to see on the stage is actually a bomb. A focus bomb that actually goes from 0 cherry plus to 50,000. So that means he's going to get a border with a bomb by cancelling the bazillion bullets. You can see that the bomb actually converts bullets a lot longer than it actually stays on screen, which is kind of nice for this. And you can also see that he actually micro-taps his own focus. It's actually absolutely disgusting to replicate. This section with the fairies is really annoying too, because you have to kill the fairies in a specific order and collect the items in a specific order, or else you'll not get the border he gets right here. You also don't want to kill that fairy. You want to get the border from shooting it, because otherwise you lose like 2,500 cherry max rather. I'm sorry. The thing with extra stages is you get a lot of items really quick. So you also get like some sort of score really quick, and to make up for not having 6 stages. The non-spell has a border on it that is actually very tight to time. You have like a couple frames to time it, and if you, like to get the best border anyway. And if you miss up, you can lose a lot of cherry actually. The positioning is also quite tight, a few pixels. If you mess up, you again lose a good amount of cherry. It's the best border, I believe, is 34,000 cherry max. Yu-suke gets 32, so it's actually improvable. What is scrub? And overall, he's actually doing an incredible job on this non-spell. He gets 1,500 grace total. And it's really difficult to actually replicate to get this much. I haven't been able to do it. The first big mistake of the stage actually comes up right here on this spell. What you want to do normally is to milk it. You want to milk it to 0, and he doesn't. He accidentally kills it.
Oh
Tragedy.
wow, he just killed it. Oh wow, that's aw.
This border on the second spell is actually tight to time as well. You need to time it properly, otherwise you're gonna get the best border, because he uses the post border invincibility to actually go through a couple bullets. The grazing on this is actually really difficult to do well. You have the boss running around, and you have to follow around focus.
That looks cool as hell.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and you have to blaze these bullets as they spawn and delays and whatnot, and you can actually do a really shitty job at it. He gets 810 grace on the spell, and about 900 is what I think is the maximum realistically. So it's actually pretty good what he did there. Okay, the second half of the stage, like he gets the border now, and this is actually really annoying to optimize. You have to have a really precise tap timing. Your rhythm has to be really precise to get the maximum out of that border. The border break itself is actually really easy because you have a visual cue for that. The second one here is easier to optimize as far as grazing is concerned, but the border break is really annoying because you don't have a visual cue for that. Why can't you just have everything easy? I don't know.
I love this section.
This final part is this section here is actually very cute, but it looks cool, so that's nice. The border he gets here, he gets it by bombing again, and the border he gets consequently is actually the most difficult border, in my opinion, in the entire game to optimize. Well, from the ones I know anyways. You know, I played the main game at least a little bit, not on Lunatic, and in my opinion, that one was that border before the boss is the hardest one out of all of them to optimize. The tapping on it is absolutely precise, it's incredible.
Now for the best character. Sorry.
Well, he actually doesn't do it all that well, to be honest. He gets 61,000 out of it, and you can get like 68, 69. So he actually didn't do a great job. That's how difficult it is. Now the boss fight is very milk heavy. You milk every non-spell, and each non-spell has like a timer of 60, and it's streaming, so it's kind of uneventful. Like the first couple at least are streaming, so it's kind of uneventful. But it's important to do it because total it's like 2,500 grays for all non-spells, and total Yu-suke gets 21,000, so that's well over 10% of his total grays, and that adds up to the score. The first spell card is, you know, most streaming, but it's actually important to do it because it's the third highest raise count on the boss you can get from a single pattern. It's actually 1,450 to 1,500 depending on, like, I don't even know what RNG maybe. Like sometimes not all the bullets spawn. I noticed. It's actually very easy. It's probably the easiest grace Yukari has, so it's a nice opener.
I just want to point out that this theme is awesome. It's one of my favorite songs in all of Touhou. It's completely unrelated to what Sakurei was saying, but I still wanted to say
I actually really hate it. I actually really hate it because it's just loud. A very prominent thing in the whole boss fight is that you don't want borders immediately when the pattern starts. If possible, you want to delay borders and get them at better timings, but like sometimes the pattern speeds up and then you want to have the border when the pattern has reached its maximum speed, so you get no bullets, or sometimes it's just the bullets, there are more bullets spawning and whatnot. So that's something that you will see a few times, that he tries to get the best or shittiest cancel possible to get the best timing for the border on the next pattern. Because if you will notice, this also happened on Yuriko, you don't actually get star items on Yukari, but cherry items. But they're not worth the full amount of cherry items. They're like, I think each item is 500 on Yuriko and Yukari, instead of the 100 you would get from star items. So you're basically guaranteed border on every pattern, unless you really fuck up. Then you should cry. But Yu-suke, actually, he does fuck up. He does miss 2 borders, and one pattern goes without it. Horrible. On the second spell, it's actually worth noting that he tried to maximize the bullets by keeping the shit that actually gets shot standard. So he gets if you have below 30,000 cherry plus after the pattern ends, you're kind of fucked, because otherwise the health she has on this non-spell isn't enough to actually get the border. He did it properly, so he gets the border. And this is one of the patterns where he wants shitty cancel, because otherwise he would get the border too early. and lose like 5,000 cherry marks.
That's actually really. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Yu-suke's Phantasm World Record is from 2014. So the run we saw before was newer. I'm sorry.
He
can say what you want.
doesn't he? Oh yeah.
Yeah, he does. This is actually luck shit. It's really annoying. Like, she can just fucking wall you, stop you from actually going there, and then you get like a shitty border. If the laser spawn, like the angle of the laser spawn is random, so if the angle is really steep, not steep, flat, you won't make it outside of the laser, so you can't actually sit there and graze it during the border.
So he's just trying to like do that misdirection as much as he can before Yukari just forces him to have to go to the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Overall, even if you're at the bottom, the graze is like the amount of graze you get depends on how the lasers spawn. And if you're unlucky, you just get like 1 or 2 lasers, or if you're lucky, you get like 5.
Essentially, what we've gathered with this spell is entirely luck shit.
Yeah, it's luck shit. He actually gets slightly better than average luck and gets about 1,100 plays. Really great luck would be over 1,200. Really shitty luck's like 900.
Oh, this non's funny. It's not even dense at all. Everything is aimed.
It's the border is really difficult actually.
Really?
It looks stupidly easy, but the tabs he does are actually really tiny. The reason he does it so high for these tiny tabs is because he grazes double the bullets. So he actually doubles the worth of the grazes. He gets 8 per wave and 4.
This is why I'm glad you're here, because there's so many little things on Phantasm that you just wouldn't know at a glance, even if you've scored the main game. Like, I didn't know about the whole thing about trying to get shitty cancels, like, because that isn't usually something you do in the main game. So I think it's really interesting to have, you know, how you've played the stage and how you know a lot. Like, I'm learning a lot from you just today.
Yeah, but this is probably the most boring mode in the whole stage.
That's why I started saying this now, because there's probably not much you have to say on this.
No, it's really not much. Okay, this pattern is cute because it's shit. Okay, so the way he does it is actually just very safe. He does it very, very, very safe. What you can do and what he knew about is you can actually do it below your curry.
I saw that.
Like, yeah, you can actually graze it, and it's worth like 9 million more than what he does here. But it's random shit and it's horrible and you shouldn't do it, but I will. Although partly. The part I don't understand is why he didn't do it for the border though. Like, that's mostly consistent and it's 5,000 more cherry max. So that's a strange decision. Like, really strange. The following Knoxville is also very unexciting, but this is note that he actually shoots focus, so he doesn't get the border at the start of the next spell, but gets it. I can get it on the spell later because it speeds up. So he wants to get it later so he can get more graze. If you get it immediately, it's like the shittiest border in existence, and then if you get it properly, it's like 20,000 instead of like 12.
10,000 hours.
Knight actually has 10,000. Where's the source for that?
Right. Alright. 10,000 hours.
Yeah, this spell's weird because she like teleports to your position or something like that.
Yeah, she teleports. As I said, the teleporting actually speeds up, and that's why he waited to get the border, so he gets 3 ways instead of just 2. Actually, if you get it at the very beginning, you get like 1 because she takes forever to actually start teleporting.
And she also doesn't have a hitbox during this spell, so you actually are safe if she teleports on you, which is good, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. The cancel on this is actually really, really important. If you fuck up the cancel, then you will miss the border. And in fact, the next couple cancels are all really important. And if he fucks up one of them, I'll get get to it. He actually doesn't fuck it up, he gets unlucky. See, to make mistakes, he actually has to get unlucky. What the fuck is this guy? It's so unfair. How can he be so good? Come on. Of course, this cancel was good, so he gets it.
Is he like misdirecting those kunai to get it gap?
Yes.
Whoa.
That's what he's doing. This is actually one of the biggest improvements he has in terms of borders over his.
That's actually really
overrun.
cool.
He gets like 22,000 cherry max total, and in his PB before that he gets like 14 because he doesn't do this. It's kind of funny. You can get up to 25 if everything goes perfectly on that. Okay, here's the thing with this non-spell. You have to get lucky because she needs to be low on the screen for the cancel and centered, of course, for the best cancel, which you need to actually get all borders. As you can see, she doesn't cooperate. So she sticks to the top, which means the cancel is going to be shit.
Yukari just loves trolling the world records, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's really a cunt in this one. She just stuck to the top, and he didn't have a choice but to take a shitty cancel, which changes the route on this spell. Normally you get the border at the very beginning instead of on this red wave. So it's on the first blue wave instead of the red wave. Then you get a border on the second red wave. The pattern he has here is red, red, blue. Normally the pattern you want is blue, red, red. But because he has red, red, blue, he actually gets a bad cancel at the end of this because he actually has a border at the end of this. So he doesn't, he can't get a border on the non-spell following, which his old PB actually got this, but because he was unlucky here, he's kind of fucked.
By the way, this is a manji, not the other symbol that I'm sure someone's gonna point out.
What's the difference anyway?
By the way, whatever happened to Cream?
I'm here.
Oh, cool.
I'm just talking too much. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Alex.
No, it's-
I was just saying that like Westerners get confused about that symbol quite a bit, but I'm pretty sure in Japan it's like commonly used on maps to denote like Buddhist temples.
Yeah, it's a Buddhist symbol.
As I mentioned, she should originally have a border of this non-spell, which she doesn't get, which is, as you can see, has already over a cherry max, so he loses over 10 million on it, just because he got unlucky on the 6th non-spell. Shit. It's actually very uncommon that she doesn't go down that, so he was really unlucky. It rarely ever happens to me in practice. I usually fuck up the cancel for different reasons, because I'm bad or I just kind of misjudge and that kind of shit.
He's gonna do border invincibility, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He actually wants a shitty cancel on this spell too. Because if you get a good cancel, you actually get the border immediately. You don't want the border immediately. So you get a shitty cancel. So you get like you get something like high 40s at the end. So you always found the spell what?
I've always found this spell really annoying to dodge because there's like things like curving backward behind you and stuff like I don't like that.
Yeah. It's okay. It's quick. You don't knock it. So as you can see, he has like 47 now instead of 50, so he can. Like if you get it immediately, you get the if she starts shooting and you already have the border, but you want to start shooting as the wave is like around you, so you can get an extra wave. So like if you get the border immediately, you get 18 to 19,000 from the border, but he gets 25,000. So it's a huge difference between the two.
I kind of regret bringing up the whole manji thing because the chat has just been taken over.
Confusion about it, but the manji faces to the left. That's the difference.
Okay.
Oh, I figured someone's already going to mention that anyway, even if I didn't say anything.
Okay, the following spell is actually very, very difficult. I'm just gonna start explaining now. There's like a million things you have to pay attention to. One of them is, of course, the graze. It's a mode spell. You want to graze it. The second thing you will actually notice is Yukari summons Gran, and you want to shoot Gran for Cherry Plus. By doing that, you misdirect her into the corner like he does, and you shoot her for Cherry Plus. What you have to pay attention to is that your shot actually hits her properly to get more Cherry Plus. It's very tight because you want to get an extra border from this.
God damn, it's giving me a headache just looking at, like, following the character and then dodging at the same time.
Yeah, you can't stop anywhere really. Like, he stops sometimes in the middle to shoot Yukari, but that's because he actually needs to deplete her health as well. But if you're too slow, she actually doesn't go into the corner, you can't properly shoot her, you're going to lose Cherry Plus, you're not going to get the extra ball. Like, you see, he gets the border now, but that's not the extra border I'm talking about, because the real problem starts now, after getting this border on the second border on the spell, which is where you want to shoot Ran, and you really have to make sure everything is alright. He actually fucked up because the cancel was shit, so he didn't get the border. Tragedy. So that's like the biggest single mistake in the stage. He doesn't get this border. Normally you would get it here,
he didn't get
right
the
as the survival spell starts.
And like he's not going to be able to get it at all because there's no way to get Cherry Plus during this spell. So he's basically screwed the entire.
Yes.
Aww.
Yeah, he's sitting. He has the whole 75 seconds to ruminate on the 49,710 Cherry Plus he has.
Damn.
Oh, that's so sad. I didn't even know that. Well, I don't really pay attention to Phantasm that much, but still. Well, I guess at least you can get the spell bonus, some spell bonus
Right.
for raising those, like
Yes.
whatever those things are.
It's a survival spell, so the spell bonus doesn't go down, which means this is actually the largest. For him, it's the largest spell bonus in this stage, but it shouldn't be. But that's because it's just grazing a shit on the last spell, which I'll get to when he's there.
Oh, now for the one spell that's on every single picture of Touhou ever.
Yeah, the next spell was like sort of almost representative. You say the word.
Representative is the word.
Is
Thank
there any
you.
like scoring things he does on here, like that are like?
Yeah, he gets an extra water.
Oh.
I do well. This spell
There's
is also
actually
black
like
shit.
there's like a safe spot here, right?
Yeah, that thing is luxury. She can give it to you. Like you start out, you go to the left. If the bubble's on your way, you go to the right. If you still don't have the safe spot, you're kind of fucked. You have to dodge it. So he had to go to the right because the left was blocked. He doesn't quite get it. It's sort of a half safe. He only has to move a little left to the right, but she can really fuck you over with this. So you have to properly dodge it. You'll probably die to it if that happens. So you have to pray to God.
The chat. I'm just laughing at the chat.
Oh,
I'm
time
sorry.
out. Oh, and she doesn't start
So-
the spell until your border ends. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. This is the final spell now, and this spell is actually unique in the whole series in that the timer stops when you're invincible. Basically, when you can't die, that means after you die, the timer stops. After you bomb, the timer stops, and while you have water, the timer stops. And this is another survival spell, and his grazing on this should be much better than it is. I assume he was nervous. I can't explain it otherwise. I mean, you probably won't notice a difference between this and someone that gets like 200 grace more, but I see it and it's horrible. Like he's super. I can't. There's no other explanation for it. He has to be so nervous that he's scared of dying.
And this
I mean,
spell is like 100% memorization, right?
Yes, it's completely static.
So yeah, he has all these movements just completely memorized, which is really crazy.
It's not.
Wow.
It's actually like it's not an easy spell, but it's actually not super difficult once you practice it. but it's fun. It's one of my, I would say it's one of my top 3 favorite spots of all time, not just in the stage.
Whoa.
It's, like it's really fun. Like you move around the whole screen and you have to, and it's just incredible. By the way, the spell bonus on this should be like 34, 35 rather than what he had. Because, as I said, the grazing on this wasn't good.
Damn, dude. I was like holding my breath like the last few minutes. That was intense, yo. Whew.
But yeah, that's it.
Yay, that was PCB.
Is this harder than Undertale?
Yes.
No, Sans is the hardest thing that could ever exist in any video game.
By the way, it's worth noting that in Extra and Phantasm, the grace bonus and the end game bonus actually caps at 10,000, which is really strange. You don't actually get the bonus for every grace over 10,000. So like the first 10,000 grays are worth 3,000, and then everything after is worth 2,000 only.
Damn, it's kind of hard to commentate like how much work goes into a run like this, isn't it? Like it's just it's jam packed, and it's like I got a good general understanding, but I feel like if I really wanted to get the truth stuff out of this episode, I would have to probably watch it again and hear some of these explanations again. But like watching these replays though, it's fucking epic. Damn.
Yeah, some of these things actually are really harder than they look.
Imagine playing this every day for like.
Did you guys see the math that someone did? It was Ildebath did the math for 10,000 hours. He said that 10% of all time in a whole year, that that person would have to play the game. Or wait, no, not a year, but since the time the game was released, 10% of all that person's time had to have been playing the game. Apparently.
That's insane.
Yeah. Well,
if 10,000 hours is a legit number, anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, because it's released in 2003, and I mean, if he's been playing since 2003, then sure. I mean, Balgurega still gets new records, and it's like Kamui's been playing that game since it came out in '98. So
the time they're actually referring to belongs to a player that actually stopped in 2014. So he only had 11 years time.
Stopped in 2014. Oh, okay.
Yes, he released his run in 2014 and stopped. He got sick of it. He hasn't played since.
Well, I can see why you get sick of it. I mean, I get sick of a game after like a month.
10,000 hours is actually more than a year worth of playtime. A year has like 8,200 hours, so 10,000 is more than that.
Well, we got the idea though.
It's fascinating that, like, because this game, like, is one of the most optimizable Touhou games. Like, the skill ceiling just keeps getting higher. And so, like, the more time people put in this game, the more things they discover. Like,
the worst part about this is everything looks harder than everything is harder than it looks. Like, come on. The border breaks in the Phantasm stage we've seen. I said, like, you just kind of press X and then... But they're impossible. You have like 2,000 range where you can hit afterwards with the cherry plus, and you miss it every time. It's horrible. You can't win.
I really hope we see 4 billion someday in this game.
I really hope I see the boss sometime in the fucking stage.
Wow.
So, does that pretty much conclude our episode for today?
It does.
Pretty
we
much.
don't have any replays to show.
I don't really have anything else to say other than this game is awesome, and I think that everyone should try scoring it sometime in their lives, even if you've never played a Touhou game, because it's beautiful. Like, everything. The art, the characters, the scoring system, the music, just everything comes together in this aesthetically pleasing, beautiful masterpiece of a Touhou game. And I know that, like, a lot of people tend to overhype PCB, but I think in this situation, PCB kind of deserves the hype because it is just a great game. It is my favorite video game of all time, as I said 5 times in this whole episode.
Well, you guys did a good job explaining all the complexities.
Thanks, it was actually kind of fun.
No. We're not asking you to, we're asking the fucking head. Did we do a good job? You say. You tell us.
Who, me?
No, the chat, not
Chat.
you.
No, they're saying it's great.
Of course you would say it great. It was great. If you say shit, then you're admitting your own. You can't do that. the chat has to say.
Well, like, as always with the Touhou episode, just like the beginning starts and like you guys, like people that are going in and all these terms, I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? But thankfully, like, you know, as it goes on, you start to hear the same words over and over, and it did start to make sense. So you know, as usual, it's like intimidating at first, but I think he eased us in very nicely, and yeah, the commentary was great. It felt like Touhou was esports there for a second, I think.
It totally is esports.
I mean,
That's
for
all it is.
10 years of dedicate, or you know, so many years of dedication. I mean, that is esports essentially.
Before we go, I'd like to give a shout out to Frenetic, who is here with us in spirit. And also, thank you, Aquas, for allowing this show to not be dead.
Well,
by the way,
you know, I
before
do what I
we
can.
finish-
I do what I can, I guess.
Before we finish, I have to make a declaration to make. Because if I don't, then I'll just not do it. I'm gonna fuck up Yu-suke's Phantasm one. So just so that it's documented, you know, and I can't go back on it. I'm
Oh, he's-
gonna fuck up that one.
Good luck. He'll fight you back if
Tell
you
you
beat him.
best.
Wait, what's going on?
Oh, but he said he's gonna beat Yu-suke's world record.
Oh shit!
The second one we saw, not the first one. The first one is impossible. But the second one has enough mistakes that I can pretend I can actually beat it eventually.
Damn, dude. Well, good luck.
Thanks.
Well, you
Sucks
got
already.
you got the replay already, so.
That's true.
Sakurei,
I-
the super player, conqueror.
I've studied that. I've studied that replay for half a year now, so I know the mistakes and I know the improvements. I'm still finding them, but
Well, yeah, I think yeah, I was talking to you guys, yeah, at least half a year ago, and you guys wanted to do an episode, I think, on this, right? And it just we were just kind of waiting for the right time, I think, is what was going on, and then the time occurred, so, and interest was still here, so it's great. Will this become
they're
weekly
making
now?
fun
No.
of the name.
It is weekly, and I'm going to do my best to make sure it is weekly.
Yay! That's
Yay.
right.
Well, if there's nothing else to say, I guess goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
See you. Thanks for watching.
All right,
I love how
STG Weekly.
enthusiastic you
Yep, episode 94 concluded. Thanks everyone. Till next time. Yep. Peace.
Are we still live?
Yeah.
It's okay. This will be in the video.
Well, it probably won't be. I'll cut it out.
I liked the beginning where Kareem started talking and it wasn't live. That was really cute. Keep that in there. It just adds a little character to the episode.
Well, all right, maybe.